Good morning, everyone, and welcome to week six. I did see yesterday that some of you indicated that Canvas was locked. Hopefully, Rochelle will be able to sort that out later today. So, week six. Week six focuses on using technology for social change. I haven't forgotten about our discussion last week about reducing the week load. So we're going to start with that to talk specifically about week six. And at the end, I'll tell you a bit about week 7 and 8 and send you an email later today. But let's just talk about week 6 for now. So the assignment for week 6 is a simple one, right? It does not require you to create a video or some other techno-savvy kind of mobilizing tool. So no video or nothing that you need to create like indicated on the syllabus. What you need to do for the assignment for week 6 is simply reflect on the importance of technology for civil society movements. So no creation of videos, but just a reflection on the importance of technology in civil society movements. Just a paragraph or two, and that's it for the assignment. So what is week 6 about? It really is reflecting on the importance of digital technology and how it has come to be used more and more by civil society in recent times. In large part a good thing, but I also want to reflect to some extent towards the end about perhaps some of the limitations. So we do know that technology has been used really widely, and I think the importance of technology in political mobilization kind of shot to the fore during the Arab Spring, like we've spoken about several times. And you know, in the US context, technology is used a great deal in political mobilization. But maybe the one thing we need to point out is that there are key differences in how technology is used for activism, for mobilization in developing societies compared to developed societies. Quite clearly in the US and other developed societies, it's used very broadly and effectively. But in developing societies, there are huge limitations. One is we know that large parts of Africa, for example, still don't have adequate access to online connectivity. So that compromises the ability of the effective use of social media. But you'll see in your material, there's talk, for example, about Vietnam using it effectively. And in the case of Vietnam, it may have worked. But in other parts of the developing world, there are limitations not only in terms of online connectivity, but there are also developments where there are democratic deficits. For example, there might be societies where the use of social media is limited, not only in parts of East Asia, but also in parts of Africa and perhaps even to some extent Latin America, where those wanting to use social media for increased mobilization might find that they face limitations in terms of actions by the state to limit the use of social media. So the Vietnam example might be well worth looking at, right? And we also know of examples where social media is banned, particularly in parts of North Africa, where different forms of social media are banned. This week's material also talks about digital security, right? Where it's important for activists to be aware that there are a number of intelligence outfits, government outfits that are constantly monitoring how activists are using social media. We've made mention of Zimbabwe in some of our discussions, and we know the ZIO, the Zimbabwean Intelligence Organization, has been using a form of repression of monitoring the extent to which activists in Zimbabwe have been using social media. So the section on digital security is important, and I would encourage you to look at that. Right. Towards the end of the section on social media and the use of digital technology, uh, maybe in terms of limitations, there are one or two points I want to make. One is we are saying that digital media is important in terms of increasing mobilization, but we're also talking about limitations that developing societies may face. But on the other hand, we also need to be careful of how social media is being weaponized in really dangerous ways. So not only is it used to mobilize for democratic projects, but we've also seen anti-democratic sentiment being perpetuated on mediums like social media, right? Particularly on Twitter. And we know that in the US you have a set of debates going on about social media in the US context. But when I talk about the weaponization of social media in dangerous ways, I'm talking particularly here of Twitter, and maybe another case where social media was weaponized in a dangerous way was in the Brazilian election of the right-wing leader Bolsonaro. You know, that became known as a kind of WhatsApp election, where WhatsApp was used to a large extent to mobilize for Bolsonaro. And you know, you have a right-wing government in Brazil, and so too in India, where the election of Modi has largely been driven by social media. So quite clearly there are advantages to social media and clear disadvantages. So a fairly quick and easy section this week in week 6, and the assignment is purely to do a reflection on social media and its importance, a paragraph or two, and there's no need to create the video. When it comes to week 7, and I'm going to write an email in a short while and send to you, week 7 is going to involve you looking only at sections 3.1 and 3.2, and I'll tell you about that. There's no assignment for week 7, you just need to work on your paper. And I'm going to send you a paper, some papers of previous students in a short while. So week 7, you go through 3.1 and 3.2, no assignment, just work on your paper. Week 8, no assignment, no readings, just work on the PowerPoint. Okay, fairly easy. No synchronous session next week, like I alluded to in my previous interaction with you, but we'll have our synchronous session towards the end of October. Okay, just to recap, week 6, go through the material really quickly. It's not too much to go through, and the assignment is just a reflection, paragraph or two, on the importance of social media, right? And the importance of technology in the movements, in civil society movements. Thanks so much, and look out for my email later today.